money ain't God, but through him, my relationship with money changed.
And what is that? Break that down.
It's not my problem.
What do you mean?
It's not my problem, it's his problem. And it always...
Funky Dineva just threw shade at Tamar Braxton in the craziest way ever, and it's got the internet buzzing that her so-called near-death scare might not have been some random accident at all. The same night Tamar was found bleeding, battered, and broken inside her own home, Funky was out there arguing and acting like nothing serious went down. When people pressed him about what really happened, he didn't call her his friend, his sister, or even Tamar. He brushed her off as the lady, cold and dismissive when she was fighting for her life. Let's be real. Nobody just wakes up with a fractured nose, busted teeth, and blood everywhere unless something deep went down. Tamar herself admitted she almost died and still doesn't even know what happened to her. That's terrifying. But here's where it gets even darker. Fans online are already spinning wild theories, talking about failed spiritual rituals, shady so-called friends in her circle, and whispers of a full-blown industry cover-up. The internet is convinced this wasn't some freak accident. It was something bigger, something hidden. And trust me, the pieces are starting to line up in a way that makes you wonder who's really telling the truth here. Funky's nonchalant attitude, Tamar's cryptic hints, and the silence from those around her are only adding more smoke to the fire. And then came Tamar's own shocking revelation. She hopped on Instagram stories and dropped a post that shook fans to their core. With Michael Ketterer's Spirit Lead Me playing in the background, she wrote, "I struggled to write this, but everyone keeps calling me, and honestly, I can't even really talk anymore." That's not just a post. That's a cry for help. Tamar dropped a bomb that left everyone speechless. She admitted straight up, "I'm so weak. I almost died Sunday." She said she was found lying in a pool of her own blood, face shattered from injuries that sound like a nightmare. Tamar revealed she fractured her nose, lost multiple teeth, and was left struggling with mobility issues. And the scariest part? The pain wasn't just physical. She said the trauma completely flipped the way she now sees life.
Yeah, I gotta call you back. I'm about to have Bible study.
Why?
Because I'm saved. And I read the word. Because it's important to know the word. How else we gonna battle all these demons and witchcraft? How else you gonna do it?
There are other books.
Girl, get off of my phone, girlfriend. Get off of my phone. I'll call you back.
I mean, that book was written by a racist white
Girl,
man.
goodbye, girl. I'll call you in an hour.
Her exact words hit hard. The way I look at life now is totally different. As my health is on the mend, my mental journey begins. Pray for me for real. I don't even know what happened to me. That confession didn't just shock fans, it sent them into a panic. Because how does someone wake up covered in blood, broken nose, missing teeth, and yet claim they have no memory of what happened? It's like a real-life horror story. Fans immediately began throwing out theories in the comments. One wrote, "What in the world? Did somebody deck her and she lost consciousness? How do you wake up missing 4 teeth? Sounds like a scene out of The Hangover. I hope nobody harmed her." Another person chimed in, "Funky Dineva calling Tamar that lady is classic disassociation. That was supposed to be your friend, the same one who was celebrating with you the night before. Why so cold?" And here's where it gets messy. Funky Dineva was literally with Tamar the night before this happened, celebrating his birthday, partying, dining, smiling for pictures, while Tamar is now saying she almost lost her life hours later. The timeline is way too close for comfort, and people aren't letting that slide. The internet wasted no time piecing this puzzle together. People started asking the real questions. Was Tamar jumped? Did something go down inside that house? Or were the whispers true, that maybe she was dabbling in something spiritual that spiraled out of control? The speculation was already wild, but then Funky Dineva, aka Quentin Latham, stepped in and made it all sound even messier. Instead of defending Tamar or even showing a hint of concern, Funky jumped online with a story that had fans side-eyeing every detail. In his own words, he said, "I don't know what happened to that lady. We went out Saturday night, we went to Ruth's Chris, ate and had a good time. Then we went down to V12 for my birthday. Y'all saw the video afterwards. The car dropped us off at Tamar's house. I didn't go upstairs. I went to my car, met James Knox at BJ Rooster, then went home. Did you catch that? He didn't call her Tamar. He didn't call her his friend, not even sis. He straight up said that lady, like she was just some random stranger. And fans instantly clocked the coldness, because if you were just with someone hours before they nearly died, why would you distance yourself like that? It felt off, like he was trying to separate himself from whatever went down. But here's where it really twists. Funky admitted Tamar texted him the next morning asking for Dr. Heavenly's number, the Atlanta dentist reality star who's famous for doing emergency veneers. Funky brushed it off, thinking it was just a teeth issue. But only hours later, Tamar was posting about fractured bones, missing teeth, and nearly losing her life. That timeline doesn't just raise questions, it screams that something is being covered up. The timeline wasn't adding up, and fans weren't buying the casual play-by-play. Just hours earlier, Tamar and Funky were turning up, laughing, and celebrating like everything was fine. Then, by the next morning, she's scrambling in emergency mode, calling around for a dentist. That shift alone made the whole situation look shady. Fans online were quick to call it out. One wrote on X, "Nah, Funky knew something was off." That lady comment was him distancing himself before the storm hit. Classic Funky move. Another fan speculated, "Feels like Funky was being shady because he didn't approve of whoever Tamar was with that night. He wanted to clear his name before the blogs dragged him." The theories spread fast, and suddenly Funky's tone was being dissected like a crime scene. Instead of shutting down the drama, his detached story poured gasoline on the fire. People started whispering, did Funky really shade Tamar because he knew she was mixed up in something darker than she could handle? That's when the rumors flipped from broken bones to full-blown ritual talk, with folks suggesting there might be more going on spiritually than anyone was admitting. And right when Tamar was asking fans to pray for her recovery, her own family made it even messier. Her sister, Tamar Braxton, hopped on live and dropped a line that left everyone stunned. Tamar had just mentioned doing Bible study to fight off demons and witchcraft, but Tony brushed it off cold, saying, "That book was written by a racist white man." For a family raised deep in the church, that comment hit like a bomb. Suddenly, fans weren't just worried about Tamar's injuries. They were side-eyeing the Braxton sisters' entire relationship, wondering if the real battle here was bigger than health. Maybe faith, spirituality, and even dark rituals pulling them apart. The drama took an even darker turn when fans started dropping scripture into the debate. One verse that kept popping up was 1 Timothy 4:1. "Now the Spirit expressly says that in latter times some will depart from the faith, giving heed to deceiving spirits and doctrines of demons." Online detectives tied that verse straight to Tony's comments, and suddenly people were suggesting Tamar wasn't just fighting physical injuries, she might have been under spiritual attack. And Tamar herself didn't exactly calm those fears. In past interviews, she admitted she doesn't go to church anymore, but claimed she still hears God's voice in private moments, even saying he once spoke to her while she was in the shower.
Yeah.
Because I'm a person that don't go to church.
Right.
You know?
It's not about religion either.
It's
not.
not.
It's your relationship
it's
with
about
God.
my relationship with him, and I didn't find that until a couple of years ago in the shower.
Really?
Yeah.
That confession alone had fans split. Was she divinely touched or walking into something way more dangerous? That's when the whispers about voodoo and spiritual rituals really started to swirl. Fans pointed out how Tamar's talk of battling demons lined up with Tony brushing off the Bible, and Funky Dineva distancing himself by calling her just the lady. When you line it all up, it starts to feel less like coincidence and more like a spiritual storm circling around her. One fan summed it up perfectly online. Tamar said demons. Tony said, forget the Bible. Funky said, the lady. This ain't random. It's giving spiritual warfare. And at this point, concern for Tamar's health had twisted into full-blown conspiracy talk. Was she caught in something dark? Was this accident really just the surface of something way deeper? And here's the chilling part. This wasn't Tamar's first brush with tragedy. Fans immediately remembered back in 2020 when she was rushed to the hospital after being found unconscious in a Los Angeles hotel room. The pattern was too strong to ignore, and people began to wonder if Tamar's battles were much bigger than anyone ever realized. Back in 2020, the headlines claimed Tamar was rushed to the hospital after a possible overdose. But her then partner, David Adefeso, painted a darker picture, saying she had mixed alcohol with prescription pills. That moment alone had people terrified about Tamar's mental health. Later, she admitted it wasn't just a one-time slip. She revealed she had actually tried to take her own life because the pressure was crushing her. Her confession was heartbreaking. In her own words, Tamar said, "That time of my life was so dark and so heavy, I didn't see how I was going to come out on the other side." She exposed how family chaos, a crumbling career, and nonstop industry pressure had dragged her to the edge. And it didn't stop there. Just last year, Tamar went public again, admitting she was heading back into treatment because her marriage and family drama were ripping her apart. She told fans, "Y'all have no idea. None. The gaslighting is crazy and I'm going back into treatment. Oh my gosh, I just pray that my marriage can be saved and my life can be spared. My family is awful." Those words shook people, and when her latest near-death scare dropped, fans couldn't just write it off as a random accident. They connected the dots and saw a chilling pattern. Tamar has always been battling demons, both personal and spiritual. And here's what makes it even scarier. Every time Tamar finds herself in one of these life or death situations, it's never clean-cut. There's always mystery, always family feuds, always industry whispers about something bigger going on, which leads us right back to now. If Tamar truly doesn't know what happened to her this time, was it really just another mental breakdown? Or did something or someone push her over the edge this time? The questions won't stop until the truth comes out. And that's exactly why the failed ritual theory spread like wildfire. People are convinced Tamar's been tangled up with forces and folks way darker than she'll ever admit. Once the internet started piecing it all together, the fan theories went completely off the rails. Tamar's story didn't add up. Funky Dineva's cold, "the lady" comment rubbed everybody the wrong way. Tony's Bible shade only made the whole situation murkier. And when you mix all that confusion together, fans did what they always do. They turned into detectives. One viral thread even broke it all down into 9 possible scenarios people were whispering about online. Funky Dineva himself put hands on Tamar. Vince, her ex-husband, showed up and things got violent. Tamar attempted again. She was creeping with a mystery man and got caught. She had a seizure and collapsed. A demon literally attacked her. Plastic surgery gone wrong and covered up. She got jumped by so-called friends, or K. Michelle ran up on her. That list went viral because, honestly, Tamar's past made every single one of those theories sound possible in its own twisted way. Fans weren't laughing. They were seriously connecting the dots. And here's where things took a chilling turn. Tamar herself hinted at demons. Tony brushed off the Bible. Funky cracked jokes instead of showing concern. That combination had fans convinced this wasn't random bad luck at all. It was spiritual warfare. Some even tied the whole mess back to Atlanta's underground scene, where celebrity parties are rumored to dabble in rituals, energy work, and protection practices. To fans, it felt less like a freak accident and more like Tamar was caught in the crossfire of something way bigger and way darker. Funky Dineva has always been known for throwing shade, but this time his reaction felt different, almost like he was trying to scrub his hands clean before the blogs pinned him to something darker. Fans instantly noticed how Tamar texted him asking for Dr. Heavenly's number right before she went public with her post. And that raised a chilling question. Why would someone call a dentist first if they were bleeding out and fractured? That detail threw gasoline on the surgery cover-up theory. Some fans speculated maybe this wasn't an accident at all. Maybe it was cosmetic work gone wrong that got spun into a life-or-death scare. But whether it was shade, secrets, or something else entirely, the damage was already done. Tamar's name was back in the headlines, Funky was looking shady, and the internet was screaming that the real truth was being hidden. And then came the celebrity connections, the part nobody could ignore. Because when it comes to Tamar, drama never stays in her lane. The people around her always get dragged into the storm. First stop, her ex-husband, Vince Herbert. Theories flew that maybe he showed up, tempers exploded, and things got violent. Vince has a long history of messy drama with Tamar, so it didn't take fans long to throw his name straight into the fire. But it didn't stop there. K. Michelle's name quickly popped up too. Their feud has been public for years. Shade on stage, messy posts online, and fans ran with the theory that maybe years of pent-up tension finally boiled over. Was there proof? Number. But the way the internet spun it, people could practically picture K. Michelle running up on Tamar. And then came another wild card, Mendez Harris from Love and Hip Hop. Whispers claimed Tamar might have been creeping with him, or someone tied to his circle. And that could have sparked jealousy, chaos, and maybe even violence. Whether true or not, fans connected every dot until the story looked less like one tragic accident and more like an industry web of secrets, beef, and betrayal. One thing's for sure. The truth about Tamar's near-death scare hasn't been told yet, and the rumors aren't slowing down anytime soon. Stay tuned, because this storm is only getting messier. And don't forget, like, share, and subscribe to Public Secrets for more exclusive breakdowns of the drama.